What's going on with y'all, man? Welcome to Chris Budget Gears and Reviews, and this is probably going to be one of my most important videos that I've ever done on my channel. This video is going to be specifically tailored for people who want to express their Second Amendment rights, but they're on a budget. I want to say this right now. Budget don't mean broke, budget don't mean poor, budget don't mean struggling. Budget means that when you want to express your Second Amendment rights, you got to do it at certain times within a month. Maybe you got to pay some bills off early so that you can have your or a week or 2 weeks where you don't have any bills and you can buy whatever it is that you need. So budget don't mean broke, poor, or struggling. So this video is going to be specifically for my people who want to express their Second Amendment rights who are on a budget. There are 3 things that you cannot cheap out on when it comes to things in the Second Amendment community. There are 3 things that you cannot cheap out on. Those 3 things are this right here: handguns, magazines, and optics. You cannot and should not cheap out on them 3 things right there. I'm being honest with you. You cannot, should not cheap out on them 3 things right there. Because if you're on a budget like I am, I'm on a budget, okay? Quote, hence the name Chris Budget Gears and Reviews. If you're on a budget, you don't need to be buying cheap shit that you cannot trust and rely on. When you make purchases, you need to buy the best with the money that you have available. Instead of buying that cheap ass fucking optic from off of Amazon, why are people putting these on their fucking rifles for? Instead of buying that cheap $100 optic, all you have to do is put another $100 and you can get a Vortex Spitfire 1X prism scope, and I've put hundreds of fucking rounds through this optic with this optic on rifles and never had an issue out of it. Whole Zill can shoot out to 200 yards with it. At 50 yards, this optic will put rounds of ammunition on top of each other every single time. Magazines, you don't have time to be buying cheap ass magazines, man. For real. Buy you factory magazines for your handgun. Buy you Magpul. Buy whatever kind of Lancer magazines, whatever kind of good quality magazines you can buy, you need to be buying it. You don't need to be buying cheap shit. If you're on a budget, you don't need to be buying cheap shit that you cannot rely on. You need to be buying stuff that once you put it on your weapon, or once you buy that weapon, you know you got something that's going to last you a while and it's going to accomplish whatever task it is that you're trying to buy. Handguns. Listen here, y'all. Instead of buying that $300 Taurus, that $200 High Point, that $200 Sky, if you go out there and you get you something, now I don't want to make this a brand favorite video right here, but I'm just going to suggest if you go out there and get you something like a Glock 19 for $600, you literally went out there and you purchased you a handgun that you can have for years and put hundreds and thousands of rounds through. If you are on a budget, you need to be buying quality stuff that's going to last you for a while. That's just being 100% honest with you. Quality stuff that's going to last you a while. Do not buy that cheap ass $100 optic from off of Amazon. It's not worth it. Put another put another $150 with that, and you can get you a good quality optic that's going to work and you can use it indefinitely. Don't buy them cheap ass magazines. Magazines is what feeds your weapon system to work. You need to buy good quality magazines. Handguns. You don't need to go out there and spend $300 on a Taurus just to turn around a few months later and then finally drop $600 on a Glock. Go ahead, spend that $600 right now. Even if you got to put it on layaway. There's nothing wrong with layaway. Shit, if you grew up in the hood like me, our mothers made Christmas happen because of layaway. Trust me, next month I'm going to the gun store right down the street and I'm going to put me a Gen 3 Glock 26 on layaway. I'm going to go ahead and drop me 200 next week. Drop me 200. Week after that, drop me another 200. In 3 weeks, that's mine. Let me get that. That's what you should do. You need to be buying quality. You don't need to be going out there buying cheap ass shit that you can't depend on, that may or may not last you a while. You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to put that out there because a lot of times, especially on Facebook, somebody will post a handgun and you see a lot of comments saying, you should have bought this, you should have bought that. But nobody never really sat down and really explained to somebody on a budget why they need to buy the best that they can buy. And that's what I wanted to do. So hopefully, in this little 6-minute video, I hope y'all watch this video. If you are on a budget, 3 things you cannot cheap out on: optics, magazines, and handguns. Now, when it comes to something like this right here, like that muzzle brake on there, that's a $50 muzzle brake from off of Midway. You can cheap out on that. This muzzle brake does exactly what the fucking muzzle brake is supposed to do. It got 3 big ass holes on the side of it that expel gas. You can cheap out on the muzzle brake. This bipod, this is a $40 bipod from off of Amazon. Hundreds of rounds with this bipod on my rifles. And it does exactly what the fuck a bipod is supposed to do. You can cheap out on stuff like that. But when it comes to optics, magazines, and handguns, there is no cheaping out. Buy the best that your money can buy. Even if you have to put it on layaway, or instead of buying that $100 bullshit optic from off of Amazon, take that $100 and put it towards a bill that you got next week. Then that next week, you had the $200 to get you a good quality optic that you can count on. So I just wanted to put that out there, man. Just try to break it down for people on the budget so that they can understand, and break it down to them in just simplest terms as possible, man. Optics, magazines, handguns, you do not, should not try to cheap out on it. Y'all be blessed, be safe, and I'm out.